This week's episode of I Was a Teenage Film Snob is not brought to you by clones. Welcome to I Was a Teenage Film Snob. I'm James Chalmers, your friendly neighborhood film snob, and it is another Pod Squad episode. And shocker, you won't believe it, I have both my co-hosts here. I've got Nick Owen.
Hello.
I didn't
never
prepare
know
them
who
for
you're
that.
going to say first.
And I've got Maddie Schultz.
Hey.
We've been in fits of giggles for the last 20 minutes before recording because Maddie's got away with words, and we're going to leave it at that. How are you both? It feels like forever since we've all been on a show together, but it hasn't been that long, I don't think. How are we? Maddie, I'll start with you. How are you?
We're all smiles. I think we're all smiles in the land of Schultz. Yeah, we're all good. I had a birthday, had a great day, surrounded by food and my family. It's my first day of school holidays where the kids aren't home, so I did lots of things off my to-do list, and I feel really
what's that like?
energized. What's that like? I did 3 hours of gardening today.
Don't tell my
I'm
wife.
so hardcore.
We get.
Well, I did tell your wife. Sent her a video.
We do not get, and this might be controversial to put on a podcast. We get no support on school holidays because we have time off. Which, first of all, I do not. I work. School holidays is a myth, and so Tina's picking up all the slack. So,
yeah.
I've
got about 3 days. 3 days over the 2 weeks where the kids are both at kinder at the same time. So I've got that little bit of time. But I even went to Bunnings. How good is Bunnings? For all the non-Australian people, I love Bunnings so much.
If you're not Australian, you've probably seen Bluey and you've seen the episode Hammer Barn. Like, that's what Bunnings is. Bunnings is literally Hammer Barn. But if you don't know Bluey either, Home Depot. Like, it's just the Australian version of Home Depot.
But with sausages.
And man, I love it. Oh, yeah.
Sausages.
And also, I don't know if Home Depot, if dogs are allowed in. Whereas in Bunnings, you can bring your pet. Doesn't have to be a service dog whatsoever. Like, there's dogs everywhere.
I was going to make a joke, but I was like, this is way too political for an entertainment show about who's allowed to do what in America, so I'll just keep my mouth shut. I was at Bunnings on the weekend, actually, because we're finally, I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast, but we're finally building our walk-in pantry. Because we've been subdividing our front room, so the floorboard's been laid, and we were at Bunnings on the weekend. We bought a test cabinet to see if it would be the right size and everything, and I built it by myself, and I only broke it a little bit, which is a pretty big win for me. And this weekend we'll be getting a whole bunch more, and then we'll have a walk-in pantry, which will be delightful. So.
What, three minutes in and already I've sent you on a tangent. You are welcome.
This is what happens when we get the gang together. And we haven't even asked how Nicholas Owen is. How are you, sir?
Nick's turn.
I'm very well. I'm on the lead into a 2-week vacation, traveling, as we mentioned in the last episode, traveling to New Zealand. What's that, sorry?
Me with you.
She sneezed.
Take me with you.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So imagine the Bilbo Baggins meme of him yelling, "I'm going on an adventure," waving a map. That's what I'll be doing. So very excited. And this week's just busy because you know what it's like. You're trying to finish off your things at work and pack and buy things that you need. So, yeah, busy but good.
If Jake from the Movie Bonus podcast doesn't now Photoshop your face on Bilbo, he already did Nick Cage. Jake, this is a very direct comment to you. We need to build merch, so if you can do it, shopping stuff,
before Friday, if possible.
Well, this is actually we're recording this a week in advance, so you got a bit more. He has to listen to the episode first, so never mind. I've lost track of time.
Just do it.
Just do it, Jake. What else are you doing? Jake has a newborn child. He is a father of 2 kids under 3. He's doing a lot. I shouldn't plug someone else's podcast. Although I am going to be on the Movie Bonus podcast very soon. I got an invitation this week. I'm very excited. So I'll be on there promoting our stuff and talking about, well, I won't spoil it, but talking about some fun stuff over there, which will be good. We have agenda today. We actually have, we're not winging it. We're not taking big swings. We've actually got an agenda for today's episode. But before we jump into that, we should talk about some of the things we've been watching. Nick, have you watched anything since we last spoke?
You know, I have. Actually, I was probably partway through this trilogy when we last spoke, but I feel I've finished it, so I feel like I can talk about it. I don't think we've discussed it on the pod before, which is Richard Linklater's Before trilogy.
Oh, I loved it. I just discovered it. I've known about it for a long time, but I finally bought the Blu-ray as well as in the UK. I've literally got the box set on the shelf, and I love those movies. But I'll let you talk about it. Sorry.
Yeah, Maddie, are you familiar with the Before trilogy at all?
Hang on, is that
Ethan
as in
Hawke.
Before Sunrise,
Yep.
Ethan
Yeah.
Hawke, and I
Julie
keep
Delpy.
I keep getting recommended to watch it, and I'm one of those people that if someone goes way too hard, like you'll love this, you need to watch it, like watch it this week, then I'm kind of like, fuck you, no, I won't.
Yeah.
Like I won't, and so it keeps happening over and over. So I still have not watched it, even though I know I want to.
Yeah.
You can borrow.
Prepare,
you can borrow my
prepare
box
for
set.
another.
Don't tell me I need to watch it. Just
Prepare for another
casually
round
drop
of that.
Yeah.
No,
You
just,
can
like,
borrow my box set, or
casually
you can
drop it at me.
or you can come over to Film Snob HQ and watch it with me. I'll rewatch them again.
Yeah.
It might be early days, but I might list Julie Delpy from that trilogy as Hottie of the Week.
Ooh.
All right, well, I'll take Ethan Hawke then.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, they're both very attractive. What
Look,
did you
Does it
think?
mean I have to take like the city or the train station that they meet at? That's the hottie of the week.
There's a guy
Really
who gives
like
them
the train
a
station.
free bottle of wine. You can take him. He's like the only other person in the movie. No, I'd been circling this trilogy for like literally years. Like you, Maddie, everyone was like, "Oh, you've got to watch it. It's really great." And I just think I'd never really like had the opportunity. I don't know, maybe it wasn't streaming on something, but it was so good, and I really liked that each film had a distinct feel and made me feel a certain way. Like I really, you probably will watch it, so I won't spoil. But the first one really captures that giddy feeling of meeting someone new, like young romance, and then the second one is like this relief of getting a second shot at it, and then the third one, I won't even talk about that. I'll strike that from the record. It's very good, but yeah, excellent trilogy. And Richard Linklater, I don't know why we didn't talk about him with Big Swings, because I also love that. Like, it's the same two actors, and they filmed them, I think, is it 9 years apart or something like that?
Yeah, the first one's like 95, 96. The next one's 2003, and the last one's like 2012 or 2013 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julie Delpy has impeccable 90s style. What an icon.
I've known about, like, she's been on my radar for ages because she also showed up in a movie that is not a sequel but sounds like a sequel to American Werewolf in London. She's in American Werewolf in Paris. Has nothing to do with the first one, but that was the first time she was on my radar.
The good title was taken already.
Yeah, they're like, where else is what's sexier than London? Paris. Which one do you like best? Do you think of the three? We'll try to keep it spoiler free for Maddie, but
I would probably say Before Sunset, which is
that
the
last
second
one? Oh, the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. I found my opinion changing. I've only watched them once because the first one is so. I feel like just as someone who likes to tell stories, it just like it really like fueled my battery. I was like, oh my god, like this is. You can feel the passion to create throughout. You're like, oh my god, like everyone on scene like clearly wants to be here, and they made it for like no money, and like, oh, this is so cool. And I just love how romantic it is, and not just from like a romantic type of love, but just this romantic notion of kind of going through Europe, and this romantic notion of trying to like make your dream come true by telling this story and making this movie. Like you can just feel the energy. And then the second one, I agree. The second one, like it's just like every beat that you wanted to hit, it was like perfect. And then the third one is hard to talk about without spoiling. And I struggled with it, I guess is the only thing I'll say. Because of how realistic I think it is. I think it really taps home. But ultimately, by the end of it, I was very satisfied. But
I agree. I think
spoilers.
where it ends up,
so well.
where it ends up is a very apt, considering how their personalities in that last film. I think it's a really apt place. But I would just pick the second one for how it made me feel as the viewer. You're right. Like as you leave, the first film ends, you're obviously not sure what's going to happen, and then it does kind of zag in the second one, but then it resolves, and there's this enormous sense of like like it's this
Yeah.
literally a once in a lifetime thing that happens again. So yeah. Anyway, I don't know if we can say much more without spoiling it for Maddie, but surprise,
I appreciate
surprise,
it.
you've got to watch it. You'll love it.
I know. Yeah, no, I do.
I would say
I
like
do.
they're definitely not for everyone, but for me, being such a fan of dialogue, pardon me, I just love the walk and talk aspect of it. And I like now. I can't remember. Like, I feel like I am remembering it correctly, but the second movie did make me second guess myself because there is a plot point that almost occurs in the first film, but then we never see it. And then in the second film, they kind of debate about whether it happened or not. I don't know if you know what. Yep, cool. You know what I'm talking about. And then like he's like, no, that definitely happened. I'm like, did it? I'm like, no, it didn't. I didn't see that, did I? And they really had me like it was so. And I watched it the night before. Like it wasn't like it'd been like 9 years. Like it literally been the night before. And I'm like, oh my god, they're making me sick. So like that's how convincing the storytelling is. I really like it. I think it's it's a really fresh idea. Like at the time, but I think even still, you just don't see films like this. A film that's happy just to kind of meander at the pace of a conversation. Like that's literally what it is. Like it's just an ongoing conversation and just set against the most beautiful backdrops in the world. I'm so glad you watched them and B enjoyed them.
And I think, sorry, I know we said we'd move off it, but now you've just made me think of something else. So what's really great is like the continuity of how these characters would age. Like in the first one, they're young college age people, and like they're fucking annoying, pretentious young people, and they get on really well. But like when we see that, we're like, man, they are like so idealistic, and it's like so irritating. And then the second one, they're a little bit more jaded with the experience of being in your 30s, and then like again, it takes another leap in the third one. So yeah,
I think that's why the second one we relate to so much, because it's like we're at that point now where like we're in our 30s. But yeah,
I don't want that trend to continue.
yeah. Although I will say,
just don't say it's a trilogy. Just be like, oh, it's a duology. That's it. It just stops there.
I have that feel. I feel that way about Clerks sometimes. Like Clerks 3, I really do like, but it does. It follows a very similar model. It's actually really interesting. It follows a very similar. But the third, Before Midnight, does have that wonderful scene at the lunch table where they're outside and all the couples are talking, and that might be my favorite sequence in the trilogy. I really like that scene. Again, trying to be very. Like, it's not really a spoiler. It's just like how natural the conversations are, and they're all talking about like what love means and stuff, and it's really quite fun. Oh man, that's awesome! I'm so glad I watched it last year, so I could like relate to the conversation. But yeah, no pressure, Maddie, at all. Like you watch them when you want to, but if you do want to, I've got them.
Good. Tell Tina to pop them in her bag.
Oh yeah, she's going to see you tomorrow. I can just send them over with her tomorrow if you want.
Yes, please.
Done. And then next time you're on, you can be like, I watched them as well. I hated them.
I'll be like, what have you done to me? I'm just now traumatized. Yeah.
That nice one. What have you been watching, Maddie? Anything exciting since we last spoke?
No, I've just been watching a bit of TV with David. I've only watched one film since we last spoke.
Is it the one we're going to talk about today?
Oh, fine, two. I've watched two since we last spoke. There's been like reruns upon reruns of things, but one of the ones that I actually haven't sat down and watched, and Heike made me sit down and watch with her, was Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2.
Oh, I haven't finished the sequel. I've seen the first one a couple of times. How was it?
It's hilarious. It's great. It's just as good. It's hilarious. I had a really good time.
Yeah, man.
But, yeah.
That first one's wonderful. We started watching.
It's so good.
The second one we started watching in Scotland, and then Zoe decided she didn't want to watch it anymore, and like got into a whole like toddler huff and an argument kind of fell out. That was it, because she wanted more popcorn, and we were like, we've had all the popcorn. But yeah.
But the snacks, the movie snacks, it was really good. It picked up where the last one left off. So basically, like the island is kind of trashed, and so they have to kind of clean it up. But this big, like tech leader takes over to try and help the cleanup. And there's all these cool animals and like cool plot twists, and there's some really like really like freaky things, but like cool freaky things. Like there's these like sentient pickles.
Yeah,
And
because
I
the
just
food
find
has
them
gone.
hilarious.
Yeah, the food has mutated. In the first one, it's just
Yeah.
giant food, and the second one they turn into animals. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got like Heike really likes, there's a giant like cheeseburger spider, and there's like a taco dial, and there's like shrimpanzees. Like I'm trying to think, what's the other ones? There's like a watermelephant and something to do with water buffalo, but I can't remember what they are. I don't know. But anyway, there's some really like clever, but just like silly, like really, really gorgeous, silly. Yeah, it was a good ride. I enjoyed it. And if she asked me to watch it with her again, I probably would.
Yeah. I always enjoyed animated films and kids films. There was a brief period during my 20s when I was snobby. I didn't like as much stuff. But like since kind of opening my heart to joy again and also having a child, I just dig all of it. Like everything I watched, like I really was not a fan of any of the Minion movies beside the first Despicable Me film. Now I think they're all great. I think there's all so much fun to be had, and like the creativity and the silliness. Like I'm like, good. We need more fart jokes in movies. So thank you, Minions, for bringing this butt humor.
No, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of kids' films. I even went to the MSO Disney concert a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
My
excellent.
dad was singing in the choir, and so it was just so fun watching him sing like Disney songs. And then we were like singing along, and the orchestra was like glorious, and yeah, it was really, really good time. I'm a big fan. Yeah.
Speaking of Disney and music, they just released a teaser for the Hercules stage musical.
Yeah, I think it's hit Broadway.
That's very exciting. I love that movie.
Love Hercules so much. Yeah. If it ever comes here, I'm absolutely going straight to see it.
Yeah, 100%.
All the music, it's so great.
And Zoe will be old enough to go and see it, so we'll be able to take her as well. I mean, my wife and I, not Maddie. No, in case people are like, why are you and Maddie taking your daughter? Like,
ditching my daughter, who's the same age. Hang on a minute. Why don't we all go?
It's true. It's a good point. I've been watching a lot of stuff, but nothing particularly new. Like I've been doing a lot of rewatchings. I haven't been buying new movies because I've been paying off all this stuff at home. But I rewatched the original Ninja Turtles trilogy, like the '90s films. And that's for the ones with the puppet suits. And oh my god, what a joyous time that is! I actually like. I'm gonna sound like an insane person, and I'm happy to wear that badge, especially in the second movie. You believe that they're real. I'm like, the costuming works so well. Like it's so obviously because it's not a puppet or like a Muppet. It's like it's people in suits. You can't see with a human in them. And I'm like, yeah, like this is the way to do it. Like I love that most recent Turtles film. I loved. I think it's fantastic. I've liked every iteration of them, but this one I'm like, this is the way to do it. Like it feels. It just speaks to the importance of makeup and costuming and practical effects. I'm like these are great. Like the first one, I struggled with the tone a little bit because it's so dark and violent. But then they're like, whoa, like doing that kind of 80s style humor. But the second one to me, I know people hate it, but to me it's perfect. I'm like, this is great. So I've been rewatching a lot of things. But I haven't really watched anything new. We started watching Princess and the Frog finally because I have never seen that before, and then Zoe wanted to play outside, so we got about halfway through that one. And
really good music in that one.
Yeah,
halfway's not bad, and good music.
The songs that I've heard were fantastic. They were really good. Oh, we're still halfway through Wicked. So, like I bought Wicked like weeks ago, and we sat down to watch it. We got halfway through, and Tina was like, "Yeah, watch the rest tomorrow," and it's just been sitting there. So, and I've been watching a bit of TV. I don't think I've watched anything since we spoke, Nick, but season 8 of Daredevil dropped today, so I haven't watched that yet, but I'm very excited because I think The Punisher might be back. And then this time next week, it'll be all over, and then we'll have no Daredevil for a bit. But then we've got Thunderbolts coming out in May. So I'm digging Marvel. I'm happy with the way they're going this year.
Yeah, they might be sort of starting to dig their way out of the sort of hole that they're in.
Apparently this Thunderbolts film, like from inside sources, like people have no idea what's coming. Apparently, like it's one of the best things that they've done in a long, long time, like since pre-Endgame. But people just looking at like, oh, it's like a Suicide Squad film, and it's not like that at all. Apparently it's very different. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm keen. And then Fantastic Four and Superman, which I'm very excited about. But let's not talk about movies that aren't out. Let's talk about a movie that is out. I feel like I want to say months ago, but it probably wasn't months ago. We said we were going to go and see Mickey 17, and one of us stuck to the assignment. My understanding is that we have all now seen Mickey 17.
Affirmative.
Affirmative.
So what we're going to do is so for those listening, I imagine we'll try to avoid spoilers, but I think to have a good chat about, we're probably going to spoil a couple of things, but we'll try to keep it mild. And then we got a little bit of a task, a bit of a list we're going to do after that as well. Who saw it most recently? You saw it over the weekend, Maddie, is that right?
Yeah, I saw it yesterday and the day before. We had to sort of split it up into part A, part B.
Okay, cool. And you watched it the other night as well, did you, Nick? So
yeah, I did the same thing as Maddie. It was a split across 2 days for me. So, but very recently.
Anything. Yeah, and not anything to do with the film. Like, I will put that out there. I didn't split it because I got bored. I got split it because I started watching it late and then had to get up the next day, etc. Like life made me split.
Yeah. Well, before we dive into the plot points stuff, what were your initial thoughts on this? So, directed by Bong Jon Ho, who his previous effort was Parasite, which I think is a huge act to follow. Like, I think that that introduced the world to him. I think, if you're into film, if you're into kind of international cinema, you might know Bong Jon Ho before that. He did Host, he did Snowpiercer, but Parasite was the Academy Award one. That was the one that we were like, oh, Korea, they're making movies. And it's like, yeah, they have been for 30 years plus, but okay, welcome to the party. So huge act to follow. What were your thoughts on it? I'm happy for everyone to jump in.
Are we talking on Parasite? Because I haven't seen Parasite.
No, talking about Mickey 17. Oh, so you didn't go in following Parasite. Well, that probably made it easier, I think.
Yeah, really, really fresh to his stylistic quality and his humor. I really dug his humor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really, really dug the humor. Really dug the the overtone, the political overtones, the fascist sort of backdrop, the space travel, the sci-fi setting. Really, really loved the creatures.
Yeah,
the natives.
They were
the natives.
So cute.
They were so cute. At one point when there's a bit of peril happening, I was at my seat and I stood up. Oh, and it takes a lot for me to stand up, and I was standing up, and Dave was like, "Can you sit down?" I'm like, and I had to stand, and I'm actually standing right now for the people who can't see me. I'm standing and stressing. I stand and I stressed. Yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it. I really had a good giggle at a fair few things.
What about you, Nick?
It was a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be.
And the trailers were pretty funny, but I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. And I think you're right. It's Parasite's so good. And it's a little bit satirical, but it's a bit more serious than this. I enjoyed it. I think I bumped up a little against, it felt like it shifted tone a lot. And that definitely kept me on my toes. I was like, what am I supposed to be feeling while watching this film? And I really, really thought that everyone in it was really good, on top of their game. Robert Pattinson I don't know if we see all 18. I can't remember if we literally see all 18 of him, but he shifts.
We get snippets of most of them, I think. Yeah.
To sort of shift the same performance ever so slightly that many times is really impressive. Also, I didn't know he could do slapstick falls.
Oh my god! I was about to mention the fall down the steps.
Yeah.
I pissed myself. It was so good with the arms, wacky waving inflatable arms holding a tube man behind him, and the noise he makes as he eats shit down the stairs. It's not even slapstick, but it was so great.
Yeah, and there's a bit,
the subtle line delivery, the accent he puts on is kind of interesting, but you kind of come to endear it in the end. But even just the delivery and the pace of the way he's delivering the lines is kind of silly but funny, but
and he's putting on
normal.
His voice is I don't know, I found it really funny, the voice he was putting on. I don't know if it was meant to be, but and then kind of further to what you were saying at the start there, James, I was wondering why it I'm why does this feel a bit different to other films in this genre I've seen? probably will mention them a bit later on.
Mm.
And I'm like, well, this isn't it's an American production, but it's not an American film. And I think that's a really cool way that cinema is going, when I guess they are willing to give the directors from other countries the sort of the budget to make films like this. Is like there was a lot of like obviously South Korean sensibilities in this film that we're not really exposed to. So the humor.
I found that with the use of music a lot as well. Like the music was used as a device for humor as well. Like kind of the way, yeah.
So it's really interesting in that way. I can't say I've seen many films
like
that
it
straddle this. Like I've seen sci-fi, I've seen satire, but to blend it so well, and I thought it was good.
I loved how all the support. I like how all the supporting characters of Mickey was just so nonchalant. Like everyone was just so blasé and nonchalant, but not like dismissive of him, and not like he's a dweeb or he's a loser or like he's expendable, so who gives a shit. They were talking to him just so casually, and there was some like really great humor behind just the casual nature that everybody interacted with him, and the way he responds back is just, you just don't expect it. Like you just don't expect him to be like, it almost seemed like he was kind of happy with his job. Like not overly going out with his way to be happy, but he wasn't like depressed about it, and he wasn't sort of resolved and moody. He was kind of just like going about
really
his
question
job.
it. He's like, well, I've signed up for it, so like there's a scene early on when they send him out to clean the ship, and then there's this group of scientists who are like, thanks for doing that. By the way, you're out there so we could test what radiation does. And he's just like, oh, okay.
And he's like, oh, all right. Could you take your glove off? He's like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
He's not pissed at them. Doesn't give him an earful. Doesn't roll his eyes. He's just like, oh.
Or like when he goes out and they get to the planet and they're like, we just need to make sure there's no diseases in the air. There were diseases. And
they're like, take a really big breath, like suck in every single pathogen.
If the film drove home one point to me more than any, it's that Bong Joon Ho likes to make stories about class. Because this is the third one in a row now where he's talking about like the war of the classes and like, kind of the commentary on like what it's like to have nothing and what like kind of the way you'll go, the kind of things you'll endure to have something. Like we see it in Snowpiercer. Like literally, have you seen Snowpiercer? Cool. Like literally, you've got Chris Evans, who would never be in that class. But anyway, that's fine. Like literally at the back of the train where like everyone is left to die, and he literally fights his way from one end to the other, fighting his way through the class system. Parasite, you have them infiltrate the class system. I won't say anything else because you haven't seen it, Maddie. You can borrow that one as well. It's great. And then this one, it's different. Like this one, it's like he is getting what he wants. He is trying to kind of fight through the class system, but in a very different way. And I guess this is the first spoiler. Bong Joon Ho gifted his protagonist, who's at the lowest of the low, with immortality, which was kind of an interesting choice as well. At least I think it's immortality. One thing I did brush up against the film was the whole time I was there, I was like, hang on. So is he the same person every time? Or is it just like a backup? So like when he dies, he is dead, and it's a new person with memories, but it's not the same person. I was really struggling with that. I think I was overthinking it. It really did it set me into a spiral. I was like, well,
the organic matter is nothing to do with him. So the organic matter that he's printed from is completely brand new or from a different source. And it's his upload that's him. His data is him.
Didn't he do like a weekly upload or download of his memories? So isn't he's him at the most recent backup? So
but my thing was,
is it the same consciousness? I wouldn't have thought so.
That's where I was getting at. Like, and I thank you for wording it in a much better way than I could. Is that like I don't like it's him to everyone else, but I don't think. Like I think that's what I was really struggling with that. Like it took me out of the film a little bit because I was overanalyzing it. But I'm like, no.
Kind of think of it Just kind of think of it like when you're sharing like a JPEG image, every time you sort of close it and open it and compress it and reopen it, it's the same sort of file, the same sort of makeup, but you've compressed and lost a little bit along the way or added a little bit along the way. Or so that's why the personalities are slightly different. That's why you can talk about like Mickey Six was a whingy little bitch and like, because there's just, there's different things that are still getting,
I like that
loved
too.
how good, Nick, did you love it when he's coming out of the printer and the printer like does the little like buffering, little jerking? I loved that bit. Or when the dickhead was on his phone and forgot to put the gurney under him, so he falls out of the printer.
I did really like that.
I loved those little moments. The scientists, even that little clutch of scientists were great. They were so great.
Yeah. I also love Toni Collette in everything, and she was at 11 out of 10 in this. She was you could tell she was just having the best time with this role. It was so over the top.
And her fingernails.
Yeah.
I feel like she's one of those actresses, first of all, you'll never hear me not complain about how she's had no award recognition for her horror performances, like Sixth Sense and Hereditary. But anyway, but I feel like because of the kind of career she's had, she very rarely gets to just chew the scenery. Like, I didn't watch United States of Tara, but I imagine she got to do some of that in that TV show. But like in this, it really felt like she was like, oh, I'm just here to play. Like, great, I can just, and Ruffalo as well. Like, Ruffalo is borrowing, I think, heavily from his character in Poor Things, if you've seen that. But then it's this weird kind of like Trump-esque commentary as well. And like he's so unlikable, but also just really fun to watch, like in that film.
I found that Toni Collette was close to being a scene stealer against Ruffalo. Like, I don't know, every time they had anything, well, I mean, they're in every scene together when they're on screen, but I kept getting pushed to watching her movements, her nuances, even though he was excellent, but she just nudged past a little more because, you're right, she was really playing. She was really having fun.
Maybe not the only complaint, but I would say, while we're talking about the cast, I really like, is it Stephen Yuen?
Yes.
And I thought he was just a bit underused. I don't know. And obviously his character is there in service of the main plot, but like I think he's just a really likable screen presence, and he I didn't feel like he had that much to do.
Was he? It's been a while since I've seen it. Now, was he the friend?
Yeah, he was the friend, and they were going to open a macaroon store.
What a dickhead.
I loved all of those Earth scenes, like all of the kind of mob scenes, and like how they used other people as examples of how not to like screw over the mob. I really enjoyed all that sort of stuff, because once you get into space, like it literally is like out there, like it gets real wacky real quickly. So it is weird that like them opening a macaroon store with the mob's money is the most grounded part of the film.
A failed macaroon store.
And I enjoyed when Mickey's signing up and he's at the spaceport or the airport or whatever you want to call it, and he's signing up and there's the reporter trying to do his report and Mickey's trying to stay out of the frame, and the reporter keeps moving and Mickey has to keep like running off or hiding. And by the end of the film, when we finished the film, there's a last scene where they're at a sort of a ceremony. And it was only then that David turned to me and I had to say to him, like, but what's with the pigeon? The dude dressed as a pigeon. What? Did I miss something? Did I miss anything? Or is it just pigeon?
I thought he was just one. It was one of those like wacky elements of this film that we're not meant to know why. But he's like the one who like gives out the dinner prize thing as well.
Yeah. I vaguely remember. Yeah.
He's like in a big mascot suit, but he's dressed as a pigeon. And we got to the end and I'm like, hang on, what happened and why is there very confusing, but I also really loved that. I loved that bit.
But as I said, the other thing, I sort of said it when I first started talking about it, was like, the only thing I really bumped against was like, it definitely, you can't settle in and relax this to watch this film at a certain pace. It sort of, there's elements that are obviously quite dark in his past, and you're like, okay, this is somber. This is gearing up to be like a little more of a serious sci-fi, and then it becomes so wacky and over the top that, like, yeah, it definitely is. It's not the kind of film I'm used to seeing.
And I think that comes from the director's sensibilities. Like, I feel the same way about Parasite. Like, Parasite, I think I'm constantly on my toes. Snowpiercer, definitely constantly on your toes. Host as well. If you've seen Host, that's like not a kaiju, like a sea monster movie he made like in the early 2010s. I just think that's his style. The biggest thing I bumped up with, and it was through no one's fault other than my own expectations, is that I was expecting more from the clone storyline. So, like, obviously, the big thing in the trailer is that he doesn't die and he wakes up and there's another version of him. And, like, yes, there is kind of an element of threat, but I thought they were going to play into it more. Like, honestly, and I guess this is a spoiler for what doesn't happen, but I just expected, like, him to keep having more clones. And I actually thought the way they were going to resolve the tension was through like an army of Mickeys. Like, that's what I was kind of where I thought it was going to go. And then it doesn't go that direction. And probably good. Like, if that's the way I thought it was going to go, I'm glad I didn't predict the way it was going to go. But yeah, I just kind of, I was like, wait, where are the rest of the clones? And I was like, hang on, you've invented this. don't get disappointed with something that you created.
You saw the poster with all the Mickey 17s all lined up on the poster, and you could have It could have very easily gone that way. I'm glad that we got a really intimate look at just 17 and 18. Like, I liked watching them have a back and forth, and I like watching them find fault in each other. I thought that was really interesting, that they're the same person, but they found fault in each other constantly. And yeah. No, I thought it was really cool.
I could have watched multiple Mickeys get into arguments, though, if you had like 6 Mickeys competing for attention and stuff like that. I really liked, and this is a very mild spoiler, I can't remember any of the other characters' names, but he hooks up with a girl quite early on, like, and they become an item. And then when there's 2 of them, she's like, well, I get 2 boyfriends now. And then the other girl tries to steal it. I kind of liked that wrinkle as well. And she's like, I want a Mickey. I was like, I quite enjoyed that as well. Maddie, you got to watch Parasite. We're giving you so much homework today, but I'd be really keen to hear your thoughts on Parasite.
I'll get there.
Especially in the context of Mickey 17 now, because it does, his work, he clearly, like, he's using his position as a filmmaker to tell stories about class. Like, the first 2 times you're like, all right, well, maybe it's just a coincidence, but by round 3 you're like, oh my god, this is his agenda, and I dig it, and I dig the way he's doing it. I think Mickey 17 is probably my least favorite of his films, but I just think the bar was set so high with Parasite and Snowpiercer. But I did really enjoy Mickey 17, and I laughed a lot. I was surprised how much I laughed, which was nice, especially when I went to go see it by myself, like with no one else in the audience. That's a real test on a film, but it really delivered. So, I dug it quite a bit, even if I don't remember everything now. Pardon me.
I think it'd be interesting to see as well what this means for, like, my understanding is that, like, it hasn't set the world on fire with, like, its box office takings, and it's like probably the kind of film we should be supporting, even though I probably tend to agree it's probably not my favorite film of the year so far and my favorite of his films, but it's different, and I think that's what we want.
Yeah, I kind of walked out of it feeling the same way I felt about Argyle last year, which I know was a film that was kind of critically and commercially panned. I actually really enjoyed Argyle, but it just didn't kind of like light my world on fire. I'm like, this was really great. On to the next thing. And that's kind of how I felt about Mickey 17. Like, I really enjoyed it, but I was also like ready for the next thing. I'm like, all right, what's next? What can kind of light my fire now? Like, I didn't find myself needing to talk about it constantly with people, like, oh my god, you have to see Parasite. That's how I was like that. I was like, oh my god, you have to see Parasite. But this one I really enjoyed. I'm looking forward to watching it again, and giving another view. But yeah, it probably wouldn't hit my top 10 list of the year. And I know it's early days, but it probably wouldn't so far, I don't think. Any final thoughts for you, Maddie, on not Parasite, on Mickey 17?
No, it's pretty similar. I enjoyed the cast, enjoyed the sound, enjoyed the setting. I had a good time. I had a good giggle. If anyone I come across says, "Oh yeah, I saw Mickey 17," I'd be like, "Oh yeah," and I'd be interested to have a dialogue about it because I did enjoy it. Yeah.
I think, like, if anything, if I take anything away from that film, other than the whole class thing, it's that Robert Pattinson proves time and time again that he is one of the best actors of his generation. Like, I just love everything he does. Like, I've been a big Robert Pattinson defender for a long time, because I remember when he got like cast as Batman, everyone was like, "Oh, Twilight," and I was like, "Come on, guys, you can't do that. Like, go and watch Good Time. Go and watch like anything he's done other than Twilight in the last 10 years. Like, this guy's fantastic." And it was nice to see him do something comedic. He doesn't really get to do, and that's probably why he signed on to do, and that's probably why, like, he did go with the goofy voice and stuff, because it seems like it's a muscle he very rarely gets to flex, and I really enjoyed seeing
like
him.
a sweet character. Yeah, he doesn't often play like a sweetie.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Or a doormat. He doesn't often play a doormat.
Yeah, no, he's always playing like it's either very stoic, or it's very serious, or it's very, like,
Tortured.
yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness, so much torture in that guy's life. So yeah, it was nice to see him having fun and, like, get to kind of just like Toni Collette, like, in her to just kind of, like, just have fun on the set as well. So yeah, that was probably my favorite part of it, just like seeing him show what else he could do. Yeah, he's an easy one to watch, I think. Pardon me. So the next thing we want to do, and I think this was your idea, if I remember correctly, Maddie, is we thought what we'd do is, after we've seen Mickey 17, we'd bring a couple of movies to the table that we kind of think are in the similar wheelhouse. Is that the way you would describe it? Like, stuff that if you liked Mickey 17...
I think that was the idea. If you liked Mickey 17, what can we offer you? What appetizer, main, and dessert can we offer you? But also the ones that I brought, now that I think about it, aren't very close at all, but they have some sort of link. So maybe we'll backtrack and just say, yeah, we tried.
the tiniest link to be valid here. Like, just could be anything.
I think so. And I think between the three of us, that's what we'll offer up. And so everyone will have a good little buffet selection instead of a set menu.
Nice. Do you know what I did watch? Sorry, just to go on a tangent, I did rewatch the menu after our episode, Maddie.
I saw you drop it on. And
I got so much wrong, but I really enjoyed my rewatch of it.
But you didn't get wrong that you loved it.
No, man, so good.
Sentiment remained.
Yeah. Oh man, Nicholas Holt's another one. He goes in the Robert Pattinson category for me as well. That's a guy I can watch forever. And we get to watch him this coming July in Superman. Anyway, do you want to kick it off then, Maddie? Do you want to tell us your first auxiliary Mickey 17 adjacent film?
Sure. Are we going to go like
go around, do one each?
I haven't, yeah, and I haven't like rated them. This is the one I think.
I don't think we're really ranking them.
I've just got three in there that.
Yeah.
All right. Do we go silly or do we go serious? Come on, Nick, you choose. Silly or serious?
I say start serious and silly.
That's a good idea.
All right. If we're gonna, okay. Well, then I'm gonna go with it's a recent 2023 film, Saoirse Ronan and Paul Mescal, and it's called Foe.
I don't think I've even heard of this.
I saw the trailer for this and I was like, that looks good. Put it in your to watch list, and then I never watched it. So please, I want to hear about it.
Tell us about it.
It copped a fair amount of it copped a bit of hate, and I don't think it did very well on Rotten Tomatoes or anything, which is a shame because enjoy is the wrong word. I really liked it, and I would go back and watch it again. It's a film that's hasn't got enjoyable themes, so that's why I feel weird saying enjoyed. But
I haven't seen a Paul Mescal film, but it feels like that's just his entire shtick. Is he makes really unenjoyable movies?
Well, I mean, so the reason there's a link in here is because the whole premise is, Earth's dying. We've got some, a young couple in Midwest America who are farmers, and the farms died off. Whatever. Paul, I think his name's Junior. Junior works at chicken processing factory. His wife, Saoirse Ronan Hen, works at a diner, but their relationship it's breaking apart. They're very drifted. They're not connecting anymore. There's not animosity or violence or anything, but it's almost like there's sort of just this big wall that's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger between their marriage. Anyway, so there's a space program and you get put on the short list, and then if you get picked off the short list, you have to go. Like, it's non-negotiable. You have to go to this space program where they're like, I think they're setting up like a program to see if people can live in space for longer stretches of time, sort of thing. So you have a job over there, you make a lot of money as well as incentive, and then you come back after 2 years. And so the whole film is centered on, like 2 weeks before he leaves, and how, a few months before he leaves, and how that impacts their relationship further. And someone from the company has to come out and interview them and get to know them quite intimately, because they're going to send a clone to live with Hen, a clone of Junior, so that she's not lonely for 2 years. And so the whole plot is all about the tension with having this guy from the company like in their house and like interviewing them and asking them intimate questions. And slowly over time, like Junior and Hen reconnect, and then they get really sad that he's about to go off. And then there's a really, really big, interesting section of the film that happens, etc. And a really, really interesting
This might seem
ending beyond the ending. It's really, really cool.
This might seem like an obvious question, and maybe this is why it got critiqued. Why didn't they just send the clone to space, and then he could stay with his wife?
And then he could stay with his wife. I feel like maybe the clone has an expiration date.
Okay. As long as they're
and maybe
interested in story, I'm like, as long as there's a story reason as to why. So I'm like, hang on. I was like, and I know I'm not that guy. I'm never like, let's tear this apart. But I was like, hang on, couldn't we resolve all of this by just sending old
James,
cloning?
all you need to know is there were reasons.
There were
reasons.
I think also the reasons. I think also the reasons are to see if humans can like live in space, for eventually we have to leave Earth. So they need
clones.
actual humans to like have a look at how they go. But it's this really interesting, it's set in a, this really, dusty Dust Bowl Midwest backdrop. It's really isolated. There's no other characters other than the three of them. There's no dialogue other than between the three of them. It's set in their farmhouse. Lots of the scenes are set sort of at nighttime in the farmhouse, so the lighting's really moody and low, and there's a few daytime scenes. Really pared back makeup, costume, everything is sort of getting like brittle and dried out almost, everything to do with the film. And I would just say there's a link there because of the clones and the nature of relationships with clones. And
nice.
I think it's a worthwhile watch just for the interesting way they present the story as well, and the way they go through the timeline of the story, and the way and the how and the when they reveal pieces of the narrative is worth a watch as well. Yeah.
And they both, you mentioned that it's set in the Midwest. They both play Americans.
Yeah, aren't they both Irish? And
which is funny because I'm just like, why wouldn't you just make them Irish? But anyway, I suppose maybe the film wouldn't have as much gravitas if it was set in like Cork.
No.
A lot of what you were saying sounds like a show favorite of ours, Interstellar. Like there's a lot of parallels between that and Interstellar, which is kind of cool as well. I haven't even heard of it, but I'm definitely interested now, despite me trying to pull it apart before. I am kind of keen to check it out. Yeah, that sounds cool.
There's a really excellent scene that you'll love, James, where they're at a dinner table, and so you get to see a back and forth at a dinner table dialogue with this married couple, but then also this intruder who's saying like, too bad you've got to go on this mission, even though Junior doesn't want to. And Saoirse Ronan does an amazing jump across the table, and she slaps him across the face.
Nice.
And it's so brutally like raw and just like confrontational. And then I think they all start laughing afterwards, or like you're really taken through a few really intense moments and then a few really drawn out, beautiful, poetic moments. And I think you'd dig it.
Nice. It sounds like my kind of thing.
Is it Mahershala Ali in that, or is it? Am I just getting
I'll
that
have
completely
to.
wrong?
Is it faux
have to,
F-O-E
like-
or faux as in F-A-U-X?
FOE. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So
maybe
who
I'm
are we
wrong.
doing? It's just Paul Mescal, Saoirse Ronan,
Aaron
and Aaron
Pierre.
Pierre.
Ah, okay.
Who just
Yeah,
got cast as one of the Green Lanterns. So there you go.
He's very pretty. Maybe he's my hottie of the week.
Oh, he was in
Second-
Rebel Ridge. Oh,
Yeah, he's the Rebel Ridge. I still haven't seen that movie, but yeah, he's the Rebel Ridge guy.
what a
Two
banger.
French-sounding hotties. We got Julie Delpy and Aaron Pierre.
Mm.
Yeah.
Can you
Ooh la
give
la.
us the
Oh la la.
what do you got for us, Nick? What's your first parallel to Mickey 17?
Okay, well, if you like bombastic sci-fi, then you should watch The Fifth Element, which is an all-time 90s classic
Yes.
sci-fi starring
So
Bruce Willis,
good.
Chris Tucker, Gary.
Yes.
I just thought, I
Back
mean,
when
like,
he was a young man.
Yeah. I've probably spoken about Fifth Element a lot of times on the show, on your various shows, James. So I don't know how much more I can say, but I just thought, like, over the top villain, like Gary Oldman versus Mark Ruffalo, really cool, like, sci-fi set design, cool alien design. Yeah, I reckon they kind of like, they'd be a good double feature if you like humorous sci-fi. So
I just rewatched Fifth Element last year. So the first time in, I want to say, almost 20 years. Holy Christ, it's so good. Like,
it like
it's
stands up so well, doesn't it?
good. And Chris Tucker was not as annoying as I remembered him, because I remember, like, when I was young, I was like, oh my God, this guy's so annoying. But, like, it serves the plot, like, so
Yeah.
it's okay. But yeah, it's really good. Like,
There's nothing I don't like about that film.
and Luc Besson
Like-
made that film because he didn't have the rights to Valiant or whatever it was, and then he ended up making that years later. Was it Valiant? Is that what it's called? The
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
City of Planets or whatever, the one with Cara
yeah.
Delevingne.
Yeah.
I never saw it, but I remember you saw it on an old podcast we did together. You were talking about, you're like, it's fine, because the technology didn't exist for him to make it the way he wanted, so he just made Fifth Element instead. And I don't like that guy. Just has like such a great accidental career. Like, he made Leon the Professional while he was waiting for funding for Fifth Element, which he only made because he couldn't make the movie he wanted to make. And it's just like, oh my God, like, can you accidentally make more brilliant movies, please?
Also, that movie, you know, when you watch these films when you're probably like 12 to 16, and it's so formative. And so there's just things in that, like, I wouldn't expect you guys to remember specific lines, but there's a bit where,
Multipass, please help.
yeah,
Lilo
there's
Dallas
definitely multipass, but there's like a little kid whose job it is to shine light using this big shield, and the guy's like, Aziz, light.
Light.
And I say that a lot. And then I also quote Chris Tucker heaps when he's like, Colvin, my man. Yeah, he speaks really quickly.
Oh my God, he's really dead. Super, my man. I love that whole film.
I quote the "Please Help" quite a bit, and Multipass as a my go-to. And it's got Ian Holm, old Bilbo Baggins himself.
It does. Yeah, that's right. He plays one of the priests, doesn't he?
Speaking of hotties of the week, Mila Jovovich in that film was a very poignant moment for my young self. Because it was a PG film, but like there was some nudity. And I was like,
seatbelts.
I was like, oh my goodness. Well, and she literally, like, she is naked in it at one point. I was like, I'm watching a PG film and there's boobies.
She's also been inspo for many women to dress up for Halloween as well. I feel like it's a bit one of the staple costumes.
Did you do a Lilo? Was it you?
Oh, I've got a seatbelts costume. Haven't pulled it out in 10 years, but I went to, I think it was a sexual health awareness rave for Monash University, and yeah, you had to dress up in anything scantily clad. So I went as Lilu, and tell you what, walking around the whole room, all I did is get shouted at, all the quotes the whole night. People just pointing and shouting at me, "Auto wash for Lilu." It was great.
I thought you had. I was like, that was before we were friends and stuff, obviously. But I was like, I feel like you've mentioned you've got a Lilu costume somewhere. So there you go.
Well,
me too, actually. But
I had it, and then my brother-in-law wanted to borrow it, and once he wore it, I never asked for it.
Yeah, that's fair. Is the Lilu seatbelt costume the female equivalent of the Borat mankini?
Yes. just as tricky to get into and get out of, and stay in is things
I
things
bet.
like to move.
Yeah.
I had when I bought Borat on DVD years ago. It came with the mankini. I don't know what's happened to it. It was in our house for a long time, but when I moved out, it wasn't where I left it. So maybe my old man's been experimenting with Borat Saktiev.
Well, if everyone in need for a step up level of a costume for another sex health awareness party, maybe I'll wear the Borat mankini, step it up a notch.
Jeez. Nick, did you wear anything scantily clad akin to Borat or Lilo? Because no stories here from you.
No, I can't say that I have, but I would be open to a seatbelt style outfit. Like, I'm not against it, is what I'm saying.
Are you saying did you have
next
the
time we gather together for
from
promo
Zoolander?
shots, we'll all wear a Lulu.
Just a mesh tank top.
Shotgun that like roast chicken microwave thing she eats, where she puts in like a tiny bit of powder and gets a roast chicken out.
I do actually have a replica costume of the flight attendants.
The blue
cool.
kind of
blue where they've got the cutouts above the tits.
Sweet.
You can have that.
Nick and I were both trying to explain that without saying that.
Boobies. The cutouts above the boobies.
If I had any hair left, I would definitely style it in that, like, he's got like a cylinder of hair coming out the top of his head.
It's like a cornucopia.
Unicorn. Yeah. Coming out the front. And the roses. You should wear that big, beautiful rose collar outfit he has on. Or we'll spray you down in blue like the diva singer. She's bald.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not sure I can sing that good. You know, when she does, like, actually, that would be my only gripe with the film, is that, like, I can't believe that show was actually good, where she starts out singing like opera and then it turns into like
Euro pop.
Yeah, like what I would assume like Cher sounded like in the 90s, and I just don't know if I'm up for that.
It's honestly like that's the equivalent of a modern day Eurovision song. Like, and why hasn't France entered her into the Eurovision? Because they definitely would have won. Oh man, we went on a tangent.
Did I make it happen? Is that number 2 for me? Yeah. Do I have to drink a shot every time I take you on a tangent?
I just want to also point out that, like, I ran this podcast solo for 3 years, ne'er a word of breasts, and in one fell swoop, Maddie's made sure we've shown plenty of attention to that part of the human anatomy.
Well, aren't you just lucky it's me doing it then, so you don't feel so weird?
It's I still feel weird, but that's okay.
What is it? What's her name? Julia Roberts say in Erin Brockovich? They're just boobs, Ed.
They're called boobs, Ed. That is a flick I have not watched in a long time. Oh man, I really want to go back and watch it.
It's very good. Where we watched it.
Stands up.
We watched it last year. We went to an Airbnb that only had like old DVDs, like, you know, wasn't connected to any like we couldn't get any streaming. Yeah. So we picked that out. It's actually really good. Stands up really well.
Was it the DVD? Was it the fat case that said collector's edition up the top?
Actually, I think it was like a Bali special. You know, when people came back from Bali and it was just in a plastic slip.
With a paper cover or
the physical version of an iTunes download.
I think yes. Yeah, I think so.
All right, James, your turn.
Mine's kind of sci-fi, but the first one I listed is an Amazon Prime original from, I want to say 2020, and it's called Palm Springs. And it stars Andy Samberg and Kristen Milotti, who was just in Penguin. She was also the mum in How I Met Your Mother. And basically what happens is Andy Samberg goes to a wedding, and I want to say it's his ex-girlfriend's wedding or something like that. I can't remember what he's in a relationship, and he's kind of done with it. And through some sort of MacGuffin, he accidentally goes through a cave or whatever, and it causes his days to repeat. So it's almost like a Groundhog Day type film. And the first couple of days, he's just like getting drunk and partying and stuff. But then he realizes he can't escape. So it becomes very much, well, let's just die every day so we can get this over with. And let's just come with creative ways to die. And him and this girl become friends. And they'll like go and like rob a bank and like go on like a crazy like car chase and stuff because they know they're always going to wake up the next day. So it's kind of
is she in on it too?
She's also caught in the loop. She got caught in the loop separately. Cool. It's been a minute since I've watched it, so I don't remember all the beats, but it's basically, I guess, in the same way that Mickey 17, he never has to worry because he's always going to come back. In this, it just becomes this kind of like, well, the only way we can enjoy ourselves is to like make each day as weird and different as possible. So yeah, I guess I'm going to get killed every day in different creative ways. But it's really like moving. Like it's a really like great like kind of love story, but it's also really funny and silly and has some good action and does get a little bit gross. J.K. Simmons, I think, is also in it. If I remember, and J.K. Simmons is just amazing in everything he's ever done in the history of film. But yeah, it's really good. I'm pretty sure it's on Prime. I watched it for the first time during the pandemic, and it blew me away. I was shocked how much I enjoyed it. It's really good.
It is excellent. And
you're saying it cool?
Surprisingly tender for it.
Yeah.
And I sort of expected it to be funny, but it's like surprisingly moving and like I don't know. I feel like it's a lot better than it sounds like it's going to be on paper. If that makes sense.
Yes, agreed. The only reason I watched it was because Andy Samberg was in it, and I'm a big fan of Lonely Island, and I like Hot Rod and Popstar and Brooklyn Nine-Nine and stuff. I think it's Christian Miliot, if I remember correctly. It could be.
It is.
Yeah, cool. I was like, it's either her or Janice from Mean Girls because they're both kind of similar. But yeah, it's great. It's really fun, and like I would say, even the sense of humor is quite similar to Mickey 17. Like, I would say, even though it's not strictly a sci-fi, as much as they don't go to space and stuff like that, you do have that kind of like MacGuffin of magic where it kind of like just causes everything to repeat. And I think has a really good ending as well. Like, because with those days repeat films, it's always a gamble. Like, how are we gonna like end this film? Are they going to be stuck forever? Are we going to undo it? If so, how are we going to make that work? And I think they did quite a good job with that film. But yeah, it's really, really fun. I like it quite a bit. Would 100% recommend to all. That is the end of my speech. Just going to see Maddie waiting. She's like, is he going to keep talking?
So you're going to add like one more cool thing at the end, but then you were like, and you took a breath. So I'm
I'm trying. Like, I'm struggling to remember. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I've probably watched 2,000 movies since I last watched that one. So it's been.
I'm definitely an Andy Samberg fan. So if it's on Prime, then I'll go and watch that for sure. There's a movie that he's coming up and he's going to be in, or it's already come out. And I've missed
with Kate Winslet.
Yeah, so Lee Miller. I think it's called. Is it called Lee? Is it called Miller?
Yeah, Lee. Yeah.
About Lee Miller. But that's a really heavy.
I think it's a World War II film, isn't it?
Yeah. So the whole backstory of like Lee Miller and her involvement in photojournalism and the Holocaust, but I know, for instance, like Andy Samberg is not going to be playing someone we expect.
No.
To see. So I keep kind of putting it off. It's almost like when I haven't seen the performance, but when oh my gosh, Robin Williams plays like a serial killer or something. Like you're not ready for that. Like for that connection of how you love him to be broken. So I keep putting it off, even though I really want to watch the film. I'm also like, but Andy Samberg not playing it like gorgeous, lovable goofball.
He's a photo developer. Robin Williams is a photo developer. Is that
1 hour photo?
Yes,
1 hour photo.
1 hour photo.
Yeah,
also, Death to Smoochie is really good. That's a really dark comedy. And Insomnia, which we talked about briefly in our Nolan episode, which I still haven't seen, I don't think. But yeah, he went through a brief stint of like I'm a horrible person movies. But yeah,
I've
Andy
seen
Samberg
none of them. I can't do it.
Yeah, Andy Samberg has a podcast. They go through every Lonely Island short they did while they're on SNL. So him, the rest of the Lonely Island, and Seth Meyers get together every week. Really fun podcast. And they were talking about Lee. They were talking about like how he really wanted to get involved because he's Jewish, and obviously it's a story about it's a Jewish story and stuff like that. And he doesn't really get the opportunity to do that because he has been like he's just like the wait what like kind of guy. And so he had this opportunity. So yeah, I'm keen to check it out as well. Yeah, dude's way talented. Really, really funny. And really just, very clever. But yeah, Palm Springs. Go check it out, my man.
Maddie?
Maddie, back to you.
Save us.
Save you. Okay, this is just before we started recording. I said that I've got one that I'm bringing up because I love it. And we're so mad if you guys haven't seen it or you don't love it. So Can you just fake it? Can you just be like, yes, I
I'll be
love
ready.
this film. It's top notch, amazing. Nick, yes. All right. So the link is because I loved how in Mickey 17, Pattinson played like the same person, but he gave two amazingly different performances where you felt like you were watching two separate people. Like the nuances were so different and amazing. So I'm bringing up the 1998 masterpiece, The Parent Trap, with Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
Of course, we've seen that. That
Good.
was
And you fucking love it,
foundational.
right?
Yeah, that's great.
Good. How good Lindsay Lohan's performance as a Brit versus an American versus sort of upper class versus middle class versus it's a love story. It's kids finding their sister. It's camp. Oh my God, the montages and the scenes when they're at camp. It's the coolest handshake ever made in history. Oh. Anyway, it's
I
a
always
fucking
just think
great
of
film.
the ear piercing scene. That's what I always think of.
Oh, there's so
I can't
many. What
remember
about the
that one.
fencing scene, or when the girls make them swim naked and steal their clothes, or the gorgeous, like, she gets to visit her mum at the shop, at the wedding shop, and have the photo shoot, and like the dad is oblivious that there's a different child in his house, but the housekeeper is like, hang on a minute, you're not the kid that we normally have here.
My
So
favorite story of The Parent Trap is at the premiere when it first got released. A Disney executive came up to Lindsay Lohan apparently and said, "Oh, could your sister not make it?" Like the Disney just had no idea about the film that he apparently helped produce. That it was just one actress doing two parts. The technology for that time, like to get it's seamless, man. Like it's crazy how well the twin stuff works. It's insane.
And I think because it's like a 90s Disney film, I don't think people take it very seriously, but like she's freaking amazing in that film.
She's
like
really good.
She's like a child actress.
Yeah. I'm very excited to see Lindsay Lohan back. I've always liked her, like in film. I think she's always had because she kind of joined the party scene, because she made some mistakes. She's always been kind of dismissed as just like another Disney kid gone bad. But she got so much talent. The fact that we're getting a Freaky Friday sequel this year and she's back, I'm so on board for it. I really like that original. Well, not like the remake they did back in the 2000s. I can't think of a Lindsay Lohan film from that era I don't like. Like Herbie Fully Loaded, I really like. Mean Girls, obviously fantastic. All the stuff she did as a kid. I didn't see some of her more dramatic stuff. Like I know, she was trying to throw off that. Like every Disney actor goes through it at some point. Zac Efron went through it. Vanessa Hudgens went through it. They all try to throw off the Disney shackles at some point, and she did that as well. I didn't really watch any of those flicks she did, but I'm very excited to see that she appears to be healthy and taking care of herself and is kind of back and doing what she loves. It might be one of the more anticipated films of the year for me. I'm very keen to have Lindsay Lohan back.
Good. I'm glad. Thank you. I was like, even if you've never seen it, fake it. But I'm glad you both love it. I love it so much. It's a staple of my childhood.
And also, the new girlfriend, I want to say it's Natasha Richardson who plays, but I could be wrong. She's just such a stereotypical Disney villain. It's just she has no redeeming qualities. She's like Cece in The Nanny. She's just
There's so many good memes about her just being like, hang on a minute, all she wants is a sugar daddy and to chill out and for this kid to be cool. Actually, that's where I'm at right now in my 30s too.
That's where I'm at. I'll take a sugar daddy at this point. Please pay my bills, my exorbitant Blu-ray bills.
It's so fun.
I have something similar on my list as a parallel to Mickey 17. I thought I was going to have the weirdest one, but I think you've made an argument for my out there one now, so I'm glad.
Okay, good. All right, Nick, go on, your turn.
Okay, my next one is again pretty basic comparison, and it's Edge of Tomorrow.
That was my fourth one. I was I'm going to put it down just in case no one brings it up. So I'm glad you mentioned Edge of Tomorrow.
I had one I could swap out if you had said that one first. I figured we would have that as a bit of a crossover. But if Maddie, you've seen Edge of Tomorrow? Yeah,
I love it.
We talked about Edge of Tomorrow on our Winging It episode because we talked about Collateral and we talked about the films that made us like Tom Cruise, and Edge of Tomorrow is definitely one of them.
I can't believe I missed a Collateral discussion.
I know. We talked about Tom Cruise a fair amount, and like John Leguizamo, and who else do we talk about that you love? I can't remember who else, but I don't know how fate just steered us that way. But it was a bit mean.
We also have to show Maddie. I don't know if you've seen it, Nick, but we have to show Maddie the 1993 Super Mario movie because she didn't know John Leguizamo's in it.
Oh yeah, he's always my hashtag my Luigi.
That's going on a t-shirt. It's hashtag my Luigi.
All right, Jake from Movie Boners, if you could please Photoshop Nick onto Bob Hoskins' body.
Yeah,
next
so
to
you
John
got Bilbo, Bob Hoskins.
And the blue lady, the blue diva from Fifth Element.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, so good. Edge of Tomorrow is amazing.
So good.
And quite simply, sci-fi, aliens invading Earth, and Tom Cruise gets sprayed with some sort of alien squid ink, which means he like dies and lives the same day, which kind of similar to what Mickey's going through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and gets better with each version. Like learns more. Yeah,
absolutely. I know we've talked about it a lot, so I'm happy to like keep that one brief, but absolute banger of a film.
Well, I think we should touch on Emily Blunt as well. Like, that wasn't my first Emily Blunt film, but that was the first one I was like, oh my God. Like, because that film, the film didn't do very well simply because it was marketed quite poorly. Like, they changed the title of the film during the release of it. But I saw that because I'd only seen her in Devil Wears Prada, and I was like, oh my God, like this woman is fantastic. Like, in terms of like, I feel like we never have enough women in the action genre. Like, it's just such a genre that's so like kind of populated by men because it's always been like a man's genre, but like, and it's getting better, it's getting more inclusive and stuff like that, thank goodness. But like, I feel like there's always room for more. And when that movie came out, I was like, oh my God, we're gonna see her do so much action stuff. And I don't know that she actually did do much more action stuff, but she's so good in it. She was long rumored to be Captain Marvel for the longest time, like before Brie Larson was cast. But yeah, Emily Blunt's fantastic in it. She's so good.
And the supporting cast are fun. There's a few people in like the squad that are still like good fun.
I can't remember. It's been a minute. I actually just bought it on Blu-ray a couple of weeks ago. I was like, I need to have this in my collection, so I'm due for a rewatch. But I haven't seen it in a minute. Actually, when I say a minute, probably about 10 years. But it's really good. And that was probably the first movie I thought of after seeing Mickey 17. I was like, well, Edge of Tomorrow, we're going to talk about that one. But I did have a sneaking suspicion that the show's Tom Cruise expert would have it on his list.
You know, I've got to remain consistent for you.
Staying on brand. My next one is one that I know Maddie's seen. I don't know if you've seen this one, Nick. It's another Robert Pattinson space movie, and it's High Life. I don't know if you've seen this one, Nick. So directed by a French director. It's really weird. But I think thematically, like blow for blow, it works on quite a similar level. So in High Life, basically a bunch of humans are sent out into space for research purposes, basically. And it's the lowest of the low class. It's prisoners. They're sent off and they do all these different work and stuff. And I think there's some medical experiments, if I remember correctly, as well. But instead of just having them on Earth for all that, they send them out to space. But it's kind of like the worst prison, and like it does get quite violent at times. It's a highly sexual film, which I was not expecting.
I was not expecting that little special room that they've got.
Yeah, the special room for little rides and stuff.
Some private time. Yep, the ride room. I don't know what you want to call it.
It's like, you know,
they've got a beautiful garden. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. And basically it's told kind of like through two time periods. Like it's in the present day and in flashbacks. And like Rob Pattinson is a prisoner. He's been there for a long time. And then he ends up kind of fathering a child. And like the present day is like him kind of telling the story of how they got there. And like kind of their journey through space and like trying to not necessarily get home, but get out of this space station and go and do something else. And that's where it does also have some crossover with Interstellar. Like there are moments where it kind of feels a bit like Interstellar as well. It's hard to talk about in too much detail without spoiling it. But I would say like if this would be like Mickey 17's like dark cousin, like really like horrifying cousin.
It's a confronting sort of think piece about a bit of ethics and class. I don't know if I interpreted it slightly. Isn't the premise a bit different? I thought there was like multiple missions, and they're all sent off to different black holes, and the point is to get to the black hole to then get data from the black hole. But while
That
they're on
sounds
the
right.
way,
It's been a
I think
minute
while
since I've
they're on
watched
their
it.
way, yeah, they have to do different like
Yeah.
experiments. So we don't know anything about any of the other ships, but I think on one ship's mission it might have been to do with animal experimentation, one's to do with fertility, one's to do with who knows, growth of plants and biochemistry. I don't know. But I think they've got things to do while they're biding their time for, is it like 9 years? I don't know, until they get to their spot.
Yeah.
So like not only do they know they're going in to be experimented on, they know they're going to a black hole and they're not coming back. And also they know about time dilation. So there's no point turning around and going back because no one's going to be there when they get back. Like it's pretty heavy.
Yeah, and the black hole scene is nothing like the black hole scene in Interstellar. It's oh boy. But I remember like Maddie started watching it and she was like, I don't know if I should finish watching it. Can you put a poll up? So we put a poll up and my friend Josh, my oldest friend Josh, was like, I hate this movie. No, don't watch it.
Yeah, I'm just while you're talking,
it was hard work.
I'm looking it up on IMDb, and you can go into the parents' guide section.
Oh, okay.
Which I go into frequently when it comes to some of the heavier movies, yeah.
The drawn-out masturbation scene is very intense, especially with its music, and may be uncomfortable to watch. Would you concur with that?
I mean, I wasn't uncomfortable, but I was more just like.
Listen, think about what Maddie's been talking about this whole episode. Clearly, she wasn't uncomfortable.
No, that stuff doesn't make me uncomfortable, but it was more like the setup for the whole film and watching it, and then all of a sudden, like, she just takes her gown off and like goes into this box, and I was like, "What? Is she having a shower?" And then she wasn't having a shower. So it was just more like.
Ironically, she needed a shower, but
yeah, she totally. The whole place needed a hose down, but I just wasn't prepared. But then after that scene, any further like sexualized scenes or anything like that, I was like, well, okay, now I'm ready. Now I'm not going to be shocked.
I will say, like, I think the most confronting, like, because there's not a lot of violence, but when it does happen, it is quite jarring, you know, because it just kind of comes out of nowhere. Like, the black hole scene, I think, is the most gruesome, but there is a pretty bleak sexual assault scene, like, which yeah, that was probably the most confronting thing. I was just like, because I just wasn't expecting it. Like, I was just like, and there's an ongoing feeling of threat throughout because it is like a mixed gender prison. Like, it's men and women who are the worst of the worst. So you would assume at some point it's going to get pretty horrible, but it still caught me off guard. And I was like, oh my god. But all of that being said, I think it is a really well made film, and it's a very challenging think piece. But if you do like to dig a little deeper into the human condition and see some of the underbelly, I would definitely recommend it. And it does have a lot of similarities with the Mickey 17, just nowhere near as fun. And there's no cute furry animals.
Well, there's a baby. There's a little gorgeous, like, I think one of the parts that made it palatable for me to watch for as long as I did before I stopped and then asked if I should keep watching it is because you do get a fair few scenes where the child is sort of in the toddler era, and the majority of the backdrop of this film is just this sort of thrumming hum of the spaceship that they're on and sort of the cold drone of sort of air vents and air conditioners and machinery. You just get this sort of clinical, cold sort of like soundscape, but then in and amongst it you get this gorgeous toddler, and the toddler makes these noises that, like, as a mother I remember these little coos and giggles and gurgles, and the way Pattinson's character barely says anything through the whole film, but then he has to engage with this baby, and he doesn't say much, but he talks to the baby the way that you would talk to a baby about, like, oh, they're your hands, oh, that's nice, let's go this way, yes, we have to have a shower, or like there's just little things that sort of gave me a little bit of respite, I suppose.
I would say it does
lovely.
end in a very hopeful way. Like, there's definitely, like, despite being
I wasn't devastated, by the end. Yeah.
There's definitely like darkness to it, and there definitely is it is like quite seedy and horrible, but the whole underlying message is there is hope. Like there is hope for humanity. Like there is hope for at least some of these characters. Like it's not all doom and gloom. I think I understand why people don't like it, but I think like the accusations that it's a terrible film are grossly overstated. Like it's a very well made film. It's just not going to be to everyone's taste, and that's a very different thing to a bad movie, I think.
I would definitely say, a fair amount of trigger warnings
Mm.
before going ahead with the film.
Yeah, I think we've touched on
it's
some of the
incredibly
more
well
horror.
made.
Well, I think we've touched on the more confronting aspects here. So if you didn't, if you weren't picking up what we're putting down, then skip High Life. But if you were, or if you're still curious, I don't know. Like I can't. I can't discourage you. I think it's worth seeing if you got the stomach for it. Give it a go. There's definitely way harder. We've talked about much harder to watch movies than High Life. Like High Life is tough, but there's way worse stuff out there than High Life. So if my calculations are correct, Maddie, your final movie, we're going to the silly. Is that right?
No, my silly was Parent Trap. But also,
okay.
I guess my first one's a bit silly too. So some honourable mentions was Source Code, because I was thinking for Edge of
never
Tomorrow and
seen
Source Code. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember enjoying it. But it did feel very Edge of Tomorrow, Groundhog Day. I'm pretty sure Jake Gyllenhaal's a passenger on a train, and there's a bomb on the train, so he has to keep waking up, but he's only got 8 minutes to try and learn as much as he can before the terrorist blows up the train. So
I think I've got it. I think I have it on DVD, so I should watch it. But yeah,
I feel like it was probably I don't remember much other than it was fine, enjoyed it, cool. But that was when I was going to swap in and out for maybe Edge of Tomorrow, and then I've got two that I couldn't quite decide between. I don't think I'll go into Moon. So I was going to do Moon with Sam Rockwell, 2009. And that's
really
definitely about clones and two of them meeting at the same time. But it's a very different field, very different pace, very, very, very slow. Like, if I'm being honest, kind of nothing really happens.
I just bought Moon as well. I bought it the same day as Edge of Tomorrow. So clearly I was on a sci-fi kick.
I'll skip that one. And so my top that I want to talk about is just because of something a bit wild, bit out there, bit weird, bit silly, and just two great performances. And I'm doing Swiss Army Man.
What a film.
Yeah. Talk about getting a bit whack on the premise. Weird, weird dialogue, weird, I don't know what you'd call it, goals in that film.
Starring who I think is still maybe the most underrated actor of our time, which is Paul Dano. Like, no one talks about him enough. And he's wonderful.
Yeah. How old is Paul Dano?
He's I think he's only in his 30s. He might be almost 40 now. He looks younger because of his shaggy hair, but I don't think I don't think we're that much younger than him. Because he was in Little Miss Sunshine is 2005, and he is a teenager then, I think.
I'm trying to remember if I saw him in Little Miss Sunshine first, or what's the thriller?
He's 41 this year.
I was going to say, he's definitely not in his 30s. He's older, because I saw him in
Prisoners?
Angelina Jolie, and maybe Ethan Hawke. What film was that one? She's a detective and there's murders happening. Is it Taking Lives? Is it? I think he's I think he's a young Ethan Hawke in that film at the beginning of the film, and he scared the shit out of me.
He's great. That was the first time I saw him. Man, Ruby Sparks, I love.
Oh yes, where he makes up a girlfriend. He writes.
Yeah, and he's married to her, Zoe Kazan. Like they're married. Like yeah. Ruby Sparks, he's great in There Will Be Blood. Obviously the Batman.
Yes. He's incredible in There Will Be Blood.
Everything that guy does is fantastic.
I really like the play of him. Yeah, him against Dan Radcliffe. And is the director's name's Daniel as well? Like, isn't it a film made by all these sorts of Daniels?
Yeah. They directed Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Well, there you go. That's the vibe. If you haven't seen it, it's a similar vibe. It's wacky. You twist and you turn. You take corners. You got some really interesting things to look at. Fart jokes. Definitely fart jokes.
Definitely fart jokes. I think you're muted, Nick.
Oh, no. Come back to us, Nick.
Yeah, I muted myself to cough before and must have not.
All
I just said many fart jokes, so it wasn't like a highbrow insight that you missed.
I think it added some much needed panache. So thank you for that.
And you know, if you really want to see something silly, the riding the corpse across the ocean using propulsion of farts, like you're not gonna get. When you ever gonna see that in a film ever again?
I saw that
Ever
movie
again.
in theaters. Tina and I went to the Nova to go and see it. Yeah,
God, that would have been some interesting talks afterwards.
we had so much fun with it, man. There's a couple of Daniel Radcliffe films I have missed, but his post Harry Potter career, like we're talking about the Disney kids kind of throwing off the shackles of their previous lives. Like I don't think anyone has made more effort than Daniel Radcliffe to like kind of shake, and not because he dislikes Harry Potter, but he's just like, I'm more than that. If you give me the chance, I can do more than that. And every decision he's made is fascinating. And I think it might start with Swiss Army Man. I think that's the first one. Because he does that. He does Horns, which is wonderful. He does Guns Akimbo, which is insane. If you've never seen that one,
Is that some like Nazi one or something?
Imperium, which is fantastic. I would. This is the hot take, and I know people will disagree with me. I would put it almost up on the same level as American History X. I think like it plays the tension builds as well as American History X. Yeah, he's done some really. What was the one?
He did the Weird Al story.
Yeah,
which
that was really
funny.
fun.
Oh, that's right.
He was in. There's a jungle one he did. Maybe it was just called Jungle, where he played like an adventurer that got lost. We saw that in theaters, and that was tense. Oh my god. Yeah, I just think he's wonderful. I think like he's just of everyone who was like of all the children cast in that franchise, he's made the biggest effort to like have a really interesting career post franchise, and I think he's succeeding. But yeah, Swiss Army Man is great.
That's my top for today.
What's your final one, Nick?
My final one is definitely more related. If you're looking for like another film that's like a really satirical take, it's not really related in terms of like plot or sci-fi or something like that, but it was The Substance, which takes a satirical look at beauty standards and the value of being young and beautiful. Again, that's not exactly related, but I thought it's definitely up there as a satirical film compared to, I guess, Mickey 17, the satirical elements of like colonization and the religious worship of certain political leaders, plus over the top villains. Like Dennis Quaid is on an absolute heater in The Substance. Is just mental. Lots of close ups on his teeth, which we also had from Mark Ruffalo. So yeah, Substance. I think we spoke about it last year, James, when I was on an episode. Certainly wasn't my favorite film of the year, but I think it pairs nicely in that sense.
Yeah, I think when we spoke about it last, I hadn't seen it. I have since seen it, and I really like it. It was so funny, like all the kind of like quibbles you had about it, I didn't pick up on at all. I was like, oh no, I didn't feel that in any way. And that to me, like I know a lot of people complain about the ending of that film. That to me was the perfect way to end that movie. I was like, yes, do that. Heavy metal, nudity, and weird like deformed bodies and stuff. Like that's the perfect way to end that movie.
Yeah, for me, I was like, that movie could have been an hour and 20 minutes. And I would have thought like this.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have got all those close-up butt shots. Like,
they could have been sprinkled in.
I only found out recently that Margaret Qualley, who plays the young version of Demi Moore, is it Andy McDowell's daughter?
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god! Like, I know they were talking about the rise of like nepo babies and stuff, but like it really is like, she is fantastic though. She was in a couple of films last year I really enjoyed, and she is my number one choice to play Rogue in the X-Men. I think she'll do a really good job. She has a very good Southern accent, so. But anyway, we can off track. Who would have thought we would go on tangents? I guess I'm going to wrap it out. Now, I think this is my weirdest choice, and I think people are going to roll their eyes a little bit. But the last movie that I would recommend that reminds me of Mickey 17 is a children's film as well. Like just like when you said The Parent Trap, I was like, okay, I'm not the only weirdo. And it's the Lego Movie. The whole time I was watching Mickey 17, I could not stop thinking about the Lego Movie. I was like, he's this lower class idiot who is like kind of stuck to like live by these societal norms. He's told what to do. Lord Business is exactly the same as Mark Ruffalo. Like, and he's this unlikely hero that no one believes in. They're just like kind of like he just kind of like dumbed his way into this adventure, and then like he just kind of pulls it out at the end. Like, he just makes it work. There were just so many like moments. I'm like, is this a Lego Movie? Like, so I don't know. Like, people might roll their eyes. I don't have too much. Like, the Lego Movie is such a fantastic film. Like, what a great movie. A movie that I don't think anyone was expecting to be half as good as it was. They're like, really? We're doing toy movies? Okay. And then just was so creative and so fun, and like had some really good commentaries on the importance of creativity in childhood and stuff like that. It was such a poignant film, and I adore it. I think it's wonderful. But it is kind of a lot like Mickey 17. I was surprised how many parallels I found with it. I don't know.
I haven't seen it, unfortunately. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh, it's so good.
It's actually really, really fun, Nick. It's got this really, really erratic, fast-paced, but light-hearted nature to it. So the first time I watched it, I actually like needed to step away. It's almost really overstimulating.
It's very overstimulating, yeah.
It's just and it's like quick, and we're over here, and while the characters are talking, there's like lots of sort of quick karate chop movement happening, and so it was really overstimulating to begin with. But then once you get into like almost the flavor of the film, it's fun. It's really fun, and it's got this really light. Yeah, this really light, childlike enthusiasm behind it, and this innocent, sweet character who's just likable and on the right journey and on the right path. And it's got so many, like, I guess, side quest cameo interactions that are just over in a heartbeat, but they're just really, really fun little breadcrumbs throughout the whole film that it's worth a watch. You'd sit there and you'd giggle the whole time. You would. You'd be smiling and giggling.
You could watch it with Alicia. Like, you guys would have a real. I think you get a real kick out of it. There's so many like fascinating. Like, it's entirely CGI, but you will believe it's stop motion. Like, I literally the whole time I watched, I'm like, man, like it must have taken so long to animate this because it's stop motion. And then like I found out that it's not. It's literally it's all CGI, but the attention to detail is so like particular. Like you would think it was stop motion Lego. Like you would think they use the bricks. The cast is incredible. Chris Pratt plays the hero. You've got Alison Brie plays this unicorn kitty cat thing. Unikitty. Will Arnett voices Lego Batman, and then of course he got his own his own movie. Is it Elizabeth Banks plays the romantic lead? Will Ferrell is the villain. He plays Lord Business. You've got Liam Neeson, who plays a cop who is a cop.
Forgot. Liam Neeson's
the
my
head has two
favorite
faces,
in that.
like a good cop face and a bad cop face, and he turns it around when he wants to change his moods.
He's like, when he's in like the good cop mode, he does his beautiful like, oh, it's all right, fiddly-dee, like he's like a good little leprechaun kind of police officer, and everything's sunshine and rainbows. And then his head turns around, and he's like, okay, we're gonna catch him.
Like he's using like the Taken voice. He's like,
good. I forgot about Liam Neeson. So good.
Yeah.
Wow, the cast is stacked. I'm looking at it now.
It's huge, and
it's got Jonah Hill.
Huge.
It's directed by the guys who did 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street. They did Into the Spider-Verse. Like, this is Lord and Miller, who have just done tons of like just enthusiastic movies. It's the only way to describe it. Like, if you look at every single film they've made, you're like, wow, this is just like fueled by enthusiasm. They're clearly very like fun-loving and stuff. But yeah, it's really good. The sequel I've only seen once, but I quite enjoyed it. And the Lego Batman film might be one of the best Batman movies ever made. It's really good. I was showing that to Zoe for the first time recently, and she was like, why is the Joker sad? I'm like, because he wants to be enemies with Batman, and she didn't quite understand. It's solid. It's really good.
It's really fun. Really, really fresh and fun and innocent and energetic and yeah, worth it. Worth a watch.
It's on my list now.
Yeah, it's so worth your time. I also have that. You guys can just come and raid my collection and borrow all the things you need to watch. Well, I think we did well, guys. I think we
What a
offered
great list.
a really interesting list of films that are like Mickey 17 that I don't think anyone was expecting. Like, I certainly wasn't expecting Parent Trap. I'm sure you weren't expecting. Like, I think the only movie we were all expecting was Edge of Tomorrow, which we all had on our list.
Yeah, or Snowpiercer. I was figuring that might be on
good.
there. So
I got to
good.
watch Snowpiercer. It's so good. And you got to watch Parasite after you watch the Before trilogy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, before we get out of here, do we have anything we want to? Do we have anything we need to discuss? Anything we need to talk about before the next episode? Nick's going away, but by the time this episode comes out, he'll have already been away for at least a week. So Nick's almost back, which is really good.
I don't know. I want to apologize for. We still haven't done International Women's Day, but we are doing it. We are giving it the dedication it deserves. So that is coming.
Yeah, Maddie came up with a great idea for the International Women's Day episode. So I know Nick and I were really excited, with those prompts. Definitely better than the suggestion I had, which was so terrible.
It was a starting point for me to immediately shut down and springboard from.
I will say in my defense, I'd just woken up. Like, I was still very sleepy, and I got the news that no one had watched Mickey 17, so I was like, I don't know, what about this? And you're like, I think we could do better than that. And I was like, fair.
In the nicest possible way. Fuck off, no.
Yeah, it was
we can do better.
And to be fair, totally warranted. It was a terrible suggestion. So that'll be the next episode. Hopefully, we'll do provided we're all here, and then after that, we will be doing. We'll probably dive into some of our own personal recommendations. I'm really excited because Maddie, you were saying you've already got a movie in mind that you want to recommend us to watch, and then we'll do a deep dive on that.
I've got a movie that I want us to sit together and watch together.
Nice.
Yeah, I would love that.
I'm excited for this. Do we get to know what it is, or do I turn up on the day?
I'll just give you. What if I just give you the year it was made?
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because otherwise, it'll be too easy to look up, and
And you said it's
19. Oh no. This is one that's even more important that I think we'll do first. It's 1937.
There are a couple.
How many films can there be from that year?
Yeah, they made 3 that year, I think. So.
Oh shit! Really?
No, I'm just kidding. It's more than 3.
How did your brain do that so quickly?
But they made way less than the only ones I can think of. Oh, you know what? I think I was thinking Gone with the Wind, but I think that's 39. And Wizard of Oz, I think, is earlier, but I'm not sure. But if it is Wizard of Oz, I haven't seen it in ages, so I'd be happy to rewatch that. But
just Googled.
Well, yeah, it's either that one or maybe a different one. But
has it recently had a remake?
No, definitely. Well, not that I know of. So it's either the one I'm thinking of, or
the other one you're thinking of.
Leaning a bit more, and it is 1997. Maybe we'll do the 1997 one first. Actually, no, we'll do that one. We'll do that one first. Yeah. Right. I got it. Totally I got it. Perplexed. It's okay. I got it. You'll fucking love it. I've got it.
I was just Googling films from 1937, and apparently Wee Willie Winky came out in 1937.
That's actually my biography. So
it's cool.
They knew to expect big things in the future. Like the second coming of Wee Willie Winky. Okay.
Oh, it's Shirley Temple.
She's great. But no, it's not a Shirley Temple film either.
But anyway, I've changed
my mind. I'll do the 97 one.
97. I don't know what next week's episode is going to be. I think it might be an interview with an author, but I haven't recorded that as of today. But I think that will be the next episode we do. But there's definitely an international guest coming up. We got a ton of guests coming up. It's going to be very, very exciting. But until then, thank you everyone for listening. Go and check out Mickey 17. Don't listen to what we said. I mean, listen to the show, but don't let our opinions influence you. Go and check out Mickey 17. Vote with your wallet. But it's a fun time at the movies. Go check out that. Check out everything we recommended. And that's it from us here at Film Snob HQ, where it's movie night every night. We'll see you next week.